We're going to do a quick flyby of our statewide races. We'll come back to these in more detail later in the show, but right now we want to go ahead and start with the race for Texas Attorney General. On the Democratic side of things, we have Nathan Johnson and Joe Jaworski. Nathan Johnson taking the lead right now with 48.8% of the vote, only 63% reporting. Now, meantime, on the Republican side of things, we already have some decision making here. The AP has already called a May runoff for Mays Middleton and Chip Roy. Those were leading heavily on in the polls, so we were expecting this. Also, we want to talk a little bit about the Democrats running for governor. This race also already called. We know that Gina Hinojosa has already been called for the Democratic side of things. She will be on the November ballot, and going against her on the November ballot is the incumbent for the Republicans, Governor Greg Abbott. This one was called by the AP several hours ago. We do know that he has 82.6% of the vote. Abbott has served as Texas governor since 2015 and is currently the longest serving sitting governor in the United States. There are no term limits, so he will be on the November ballot seeking next term. Now, moving on to the lieutenant governor, we're going to go ahead and start with the Republicans. This one also was what we were expecting. Dan Patrick, the incumbent, with 85.3%. He has secured the Republican nomination for the November ballot, and he has also held that office since 2015. For the Democrats, we're going to go ahead and take a look. Vicki Goodwin has the majority of the vote right now for the entire state of Texas. You can see it shown in this map that she has 49.3% of the vote. So that's just a look at some of our statewide races, and we'll get back to more of those in just a bit.
Yeah, thanks, Bailey. Multiple seats in our state and House and Senate will be back on the ballot this November. Fighting for the Democrat nomination for McLennan County, we have Ashley Thornton and Janessa Givens. We have about 57% in favor of Ashley Thornton as of right now. Janessa Givens falling a little bit behind at 43%, and running for the Republican nomination is incumbent Pat Curry and Ralph Patterson. This race has already been called by the AP, as incumbent Pat Curry has racked up nearly 70% of the votes thus far.
And we have 6 News reporter Juliana Jackson live at Pat Curry's primary watch party.
Juliana, how's it going over there?
Adrian Bailey, I'm here with Pat Curry, and earlier today we were speaking about this election, you rerunning the 11 bills that he passed in this prior legislative session. And so for today's vote, what do you think voters were looking for when they went to the polls?
I think they were looking for a politician and someone that would represent the district. Right. I mean, I think the Christian values that we carry here, I think saying what you're going to do and doing what you're saying, taking care of our children and our grandchildren, taking care of the rural community we live in, the water issues, the mental health issues, you know, all of the property tax issues, all the things that matter to all of our families.
Yeah. Earlier today when we spoke, we talked about the water infrastructure, tax issues. Also, data centers have become a big conversation. Is this something that you want to look further into and hear more comments about?
Yes, and David Cook will be coming in as senator. I'm pretty sure of that after the November elections, and I will tell you that he and I are on the same page when it comes to putting some guardrails in and also understanding the use of their resources. Most important thing there is transparency. Right? I mean, do we want the tax value? Yes, but do we want it at the cost of the future of our children and grandchildren? No. So it's a balance, right? And that's something that I think the state's going to be looking more into.
Yeah. And what are you looking forward to in this second re-election?
I'm looking forward to continuing with the education I've already had on how to be a representative and how to work within the Senate and the legislature and the governor's office and work on legislation and work with the local constituents. You know, there's so many issues that we solve and we help constituents solve behind the scenes. I would say 70% of our time is spent on that, which is such an honor to be able to do. There's so many people here tonight, you know, that have brought issues even tonight that we're able to know that we can move the needle on and make a difference. And it's an honor. I'm thankful to the voters here. I'm thankful they reelected me, and I will continue to make them proud.
Yeah, and then finally, as we're wrapping up this primary election, how do you think your campaign trail has been?
It has been a blast, honestly. I love it because I get out and talk to constituents, no matter which party you're voting in, right? They know they can come talk to me. They know that I listen to the things that they're saying, and they also know I'm going to call them back. and that we're going to work together to see if we can't solve the issues that they bring up. So I have to tell you, it's such an honor to get to go do this. It's hard, it's tough on your family, and some of the things that are said are just mean and nasty, but they're not truthful. And you can count on the fact that we'll just be straightforward and do the right thing.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to add for the voters and viewers at home?
Just a big thank you. I'm proud and honored by God to be able to do this, and I'll continue the path as they ask me to.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Pat. We look forward to seeing what you bring to the table this next legislative session.
Thank you.
Live in Waco, Juliana Jackson, 6 News.
All right, Juliana, thank you. Also competing to represent McLennan County at the state level is David Cook. John Gimble seeking the state senator District 22. Right now, David Cook has 68% of the vote. We'll keep an eye on this one as it gets closer.
Albert Hunter is the only Democrat running for State House District 13. The Republicans for House District 13 include Angela Orr and Kat Wall. 6 News anchor Adriana Alexander is live outside of a polling location in Waco and has been tracking this race all evening.
Yeah, she joins us now with the latest. Adriana, what can you tell us?
Well, guys, it is still early with more than 40% of the votes being accounted for in this race for State House District 13. As of right now, Orr has more than 9,000 votes, and Wall is behind her with more than 6,000 votes. More than 12,000 votes have been accounted for, with more than 50 of 118 precincts reporting their final numbers. Angela Orr is an incumbent, earning her seat in 2021. As for Kat Wall, this is the first time she has ran for a House seat for District 13. District 13 covers parts of McLennan County and all parts of Leon, Bosque, Limestone, Freestone, and Falls County. Whoever is able to get these votes needed in the midterm election will then head to the primaries in November to represent the Republican Party for District 13 and campaign to earn that position. Again, it is a little too early to tell as of right now as to who will get to that point, but we will continue to track that over on kcentv.com/elections. Make sure you get your results from there. For now, live in Waco, Adriana Alexander, 6 News.
Alrighty, thank you so much for that update, Adriana. Some Republicans running for the state Senate District 5 in Milam County, Brazos Valley. We have Charles Shortner with about 77% of the votes there so far. Larry Nance in second with about 13%, and Apollo Hernandez trailing in third with 11%. Democrats for the State House District 17 in Milam County are going to be Mary Clenz, currently leading at 61% of the votes, followed by Frank Gomez at 24% of the votes, and Robert Salter there in third with around 15% of the votes. Republicans for State House District 17 is led by incumbent Stan Gertz, who actually has 60% of the votes thus far, and Tom Glass in second with about 40% of the votes thus far.
Meantime, Democrats running for State House District 14, that includes the College Station area, is Janet Dudding and David Kessler. Republican Paul Dyson is running unopposed. Right now, Janet has 67% of the vote. Democrats running for State House District 59. This is covering the Coryell County area. Andrew Turner and Ethan Newcomer. Republican Shelby Slauson is running unopposed. Andrew Turner currently has the majority with 63%.